Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins made a significant roster move on Wednesday, activating veteran tight end Darren Waller from the physically unable to perform list. Waller, who shocked the football world by announcing his retirement just 14 months ago, has now made the decision to return to the field. Originally joining the Dolphins through a trade with the New York Giants on July 1st, Waller has been diligently working on regaining his football shape and conditioning, signaling his readiness to contribute to Miami's offense. Coach Mike McDaniel had indicated in recent interviews that he expected Waller to begin practicing sooner rather than later, and this activation confirms the team's belief that the veteran tight end can still play at a high level despite stepping away from the game for personal and professional reasons. Waller's experience, talent, and proven track record make him an intriguing addition to the Dolphins roster ahead of the regular season. After joining the Dolphins, Waller is expected to fill the void left by the trade of tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this summer. Miami's current tight end roster includes Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown, Tanner Conner, Chris Myrick, and Hayden Rucci, but none of these players carry the same proven ability or profile as Waller, making his return potentially transformative for the team's offensive schemes. Waller's one-year contract with Miami is reportedly worth up to $5 million, according to his agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey, giving the Dolphins flexibility while also reflecting the high expectations placed on his performance. For fans, analysts, and fantasy football enthusiasts, Waller's return offers a storyline filled with potential redemption, impact plays, and intriguing possibilities, particularly in a season where Miami aims to compete at the highest level within a competitive AFC East division. His presence could immediately alter defensive game plans and open opportunities for the Dolphins' dynamic passing attack. Waller's football journey has been filled with remarkable highs, including a standout career with the Baltimore Ravens, Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders, and a brief stint with the Giants. Over 86 career games, he has amassed 350 receptions for 4,124 yards and 20 touchdowns, a resume that underscores his ability to make consistent, meaningful contributions at the tight end position. His 2020 season with the Raiders remains a defining moment, where he recorded 107 catches for 1,196 yards and 9 touchdowns, earning him a Pro Bowl selection. Despite his recent retirement, which he attributed to a combination of medical concerns, waning passion for football, and a growing interest in a music career, Waller's talent on the field has never been in question. This activation allows Dolphins fans to witness firsthand whether a short break from the game has affected his competitive edge or whether he can seamlessly reintegrate into NFL gameplay. During his lone season with the Giants, Waller caught 52 passes for 552 yards and 1 touchdown in just 12 games, demonstrating that even after a trade and life changes, he maintained an ability to perform at a professional level. The Giants' decision to trade Waller, along with a conditional 2027 7th-round draft pick, to Miami in exchange for a conditional 6th-round pick in 2026 was influenced by roster priorities, salary considerations, and Miami's desire to bring in a high-impact veteran. For the Dolphins, this trade represents a strategic move to strengthen their passing game, particularly at tight end, and to create a more versatile offense capable of exploiting mismatches against opposing defenses. Waller's experience, size, and route-running ability make him a mismatch nightmare, which could open space for both the running game and other skill position players on Miami's roster. From a coaching perspective, Mike McDaniel will have the task of integrating Waller into a system that has evolved over the offseason. The Dolphins' offensive philosophy, which blends dynamic rushing schemes with vertical and intermediate passing concepts, could benefit from Waller's unique skill set, especially as a safety valve for quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Incorporating Waller into the game plan requires careful consideration of timing, route combinations, and red zone utilization, ensuring that his presence maximizes offensive efficiency without disrupting established chemistry. With preseason games concluding, every practice and evaluation becomes crucial for Waller to demonstrate that he is game-ready, capable of handling full-speed contact, and able to contribute meaningfully to a Dolphins team that hopes to compete at the playoff level. The integration process will be closely watched by fans, analysts, and fantasy managers alike. For fantasy football participants, Waller's activation is both an opportunity and a puzzle, especially given his recent retirement and unpredictable performance trends. While he has proven to be a top-tier tight end in his prime, questions remain regarding his conditioning, snap count limits, and long-term durability after stepping away from the sport. Analysts may compare his potential contributions to players such as Jonnu Smith, Pharaoh Brown, or other emerging tight ends, weighing Waller's upside against his possible limitations. Teams and fantasy owners will need to monitor early season usage closely, paying attention to target distribution, route participation, and red zone involvement, all of which will influence his scoring potential. Waller's presence could shift the value of other Dolphins offensive players, creating ripple effects in draft strategies and weekly lineup decisions for managers across various leagues seeking an edge at a position historically dominated by unpredictable production. The Dolphins' preseason finale against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home provides Waller with a platform to showcase his readiness in live-game conditions. These final exhibition games are crucial for assessing timing with the quarterback, understanding defensive tendencies, and acclimating to game speed after a period of inactivity. While coaches may limit his snaps to prevent overexertion, every reception, route, and block will be scrutinized to determine whether Waller can immediately start or will require a transitional period. Observers will note his ability to maintain concentration, adjust to blitzes, and execute nuanced route concepts, all while contributing to overall offensive flow. Successful preseason performance would generate excitement among Dolphins fans and media, signaling that Waller is poised to reclaim a central role within Miami's offensive strategy and contribute meaningfully to their regular season aspirations. The upcoming regular season opener at Indianapolis on September 7th will likely mark Waller's first official chance to demonstrate whether his comeback is sustainable. Facing a formidable Colts defense, he will be tested in multiple scenarios including intermediate and deep passing, blocking assignments, and situational red zone execution. Performance in the opening game can shape not only public perception but also coaching decisions regarding snap allocation, target prioritization, and long-term offensive planning. For Miami, a strong showing by Waller could immediately enhance their versatility and force opposing defenses to adjust, creating opportunities for other skill players such as wide receivers and running backs. The opener also represents a psychological milestone for Waller, transitioning from retired veteran to impactful starter, providing both personal and professional validation as he navigates this high-stakes return to NFL competition. The Dolphins' decision to activate Waller also carries broader implications for the team's strategic direction, signaling a commitment to experienced talent while balancing the development of younger players. While tight ends like Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown, and Tanner Conner offer potential, none match Waller's combination of experience, athleticism, and proven production. His activation may influence practice rotations, preseason evaluations, and long-term roster planning as coaches balance veteran presence with emerging talent. This move also highlights Miami's ambition to remain competitive within the AFC East, where the need for dynamic offensive weapons is essential to counter teams such as Buffalo, New England, and the New York Jets. Waller's return underscores the Dolphins' proactive approach to roster construction, ensuring that every positional need is addressed strategically before the regular season begins. Waller's comeback story also resonates beyond technical considerations, creating a narrative of redemption, resilience, and renewed passion for the game. After stepping away due to personal and medical reasons, his willingness to return reflects a mental and physical commitment that could inspire teammates and fans alike. The intrigue surrounding his performance, adaptation to the Dolphins system, and impact on games contributes to the broader storyline of the NFL's unpredictability and the human element of professional sports. Beyond statistics and contracts, Waller's presence symbolizes opportunity and determination, reminding observers that even after a temporary departure, elite athletes can reintegrate, influence team dynamics, and generate excitement in stadiums, broadcasts, and fantasy leagues across the country, making his activation one of the more compelling storylines entering the 2025 NFL season. Finally, Waller's activation sets the stage for what could be a pivotal season for the Dolphins, blending veteran leadership with young talent in an offense designed to challenge opposing defenses. His ability to execute at a high level, mentor emerging players, and contribute in critical situations may directly influence Miami's playoff trajectory. Every catch, block, and alignment will be analyzed, creating a narrative that intertwines performance, strategy, and team chemistry. For fans and analysts, watching Waller's journey from retirement back to the field offers not only football intrigue, but also a story of determination and adaptation that transcends simple statistical evaluation. With the regular season approaching, all eyes in Miami and across the league will focus on whether Darren Waller can reignite his career and deliver the impact that the Dolphins, their supporters, and fantasy enthusiasts eagerly anticipate. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Rumors have been swirling across the NFL world, and the latest whispers are impossible to ignore. Griffin is reportedly set to join the Miami Dolphins, and insiders claim that his arrival could completely transform their defensive line. Sources suggest that Griffin's speed and instinctive playmaking abilities have made scouts across the league rethink what they thought they knew about elite defenders. Analysts have been quick to compare him to some of the greatest defensive talents in history, citing his uncanny ability to read plays before they even develop. Miami fans, meanwhile, are buzzing on social media, flooding forums with theories about how Griffin's presence could disrupt offensive strategies from coast to coast. Some speculate that his agility and acceleration could make him a nightmare matchup for quarterbacks and running backs alike. The Dolphins' locker room is reportedly brimming with excitement, with veteran players already anticipating the kind of energy Griffin might inject into practices and games. Whispered reports indicate that head coach and defensive coordinators have been designing schemes tailored specifically to maximize Griffin's explosiveness, envisioning him as the cornerstone of a revitalized defensive philosophy. Rumors suggest that his arrival might even inspire a wave of defensive innovation in the league, forcing rival teams to rethink traditional blocking schemes. There's a growing sense among insiders that Griffin's signing is more than just a roster move. It's a statement, a signal that the Dolphins are serious about dominating opponents in ways that have rarely been seen in recent seasons. From locker room chatter to analyst speculation, Griffin's name has become synonymous with anticipation, excitement, and a hint of intimidation for anyone lining up across from Miami. The chatter around Griffin's speed is reaching near mythical proportions, with insiders claiming that he has clocked sprint times that rival even the fastest offensive threats in the league. The murmurs suggest that quarterbacks are already bracing for the kind of relentless pressure that Griffin could apply from the edge. Some reports hint that practices have turned into a spectacle of anticipation, with Griffin's acceleration and lateral quickness drawing attention from teammates and coaches alike, almost as if his mere presence alters the dynamics of the field. Analysts are reportedly debating whether his speed could redefine the role of a defensive end in modern football, speculating that he might become a prototype for future defensive schemes. The Dolphins' training staff is rumored to be adjusting conditioning programs to match his unique physical capabilities, ensuring that Griffin can sustain his explosive style without risking injury. Rumors also indicate that opposing coaches are frantically reviewing game tape, trying to anticipate Griffin's angles, hand techniques, and approach to pass rush situations. Social media chatter paints a picture of a player who is not only fast but instinctively aware of offensive tendencies, capable of reading snap counts and preempting plays with an almost preternatural sense. Miami insiders hint at locker room excitement that borders on reverence, suggesting that younger defensive players are eager to learn from Griffin's approach, treating him as a living example of speed combined with intelligence. Speculation is rife that his integration could lead to a domino effect, enhancing the performance of the entire defense by forcing opponents into hurried decisions and disrupted rhythm. Even casual fans are reportedly caught up in the narrative, with highlights of Griffin's previous performances trending online, fueling discussions and comparisons that border on legendary proportions. Rumors persist that Griffin's signing is part of a larger strategic vision for the Dolphins, one that could position them as a defensive powerhouse capable of challenging even the most prolific offenses in the league. Insiders suggest that management has been quietly planning for months, orchestrating roster moves that would complement Griffin's strengths while compensating for potential weaknesses. Speculation hints that veteran defenders are already adjusting their techniques and alignments, eager to create synergy with a player who might single-handedly disrupt the flow of games. Analysts are reportedly mapping out every conceivable scenario in which Griffin's speed could turn the tide, from blitz packages to containment strategies, envisioning a level of chaos for opposing offenses that has rarely been seen in contemporary football. Whispered reports indicate that his presence could also influence the Dolphins' draft strategy, encouraging management to seek complementary athletes who thrive in high-tempo defensive systems. Social media has amplified the buzz, with fans debating everything from jersey numbers to hypothetical highlight reels, generating a level of anticipation that rivals playoff fever. Rumors suggest that head coach meetings are increasingly dominated by discussions of how to optimize Griffin's usage without compromising overall defensive balance, hinting at a thoughtful integration process. There's talk among insiders that opponents are already recalibrating game plans, potentially avoiding matchups with Griffin altogether or designing plays to minimize his impact, which only reinforces the perception of his looming dominance. Analysts speculate that his ability to collapse pockets and chase down ball carriers could lead to record-setting defensive statistics, potentially changing the narrative around Miami's defense in upcoming seasons. As whispers continue to circulate, it's clear that Griffin's presence is more than a rumor. It's a tantalizing promise of transformation, a potential game-changer whose impact could resonate far beyond a single season. Rumors continue to pour in about Griffin's potential impact on the Dolphins' defensive culture, with insiders suggesting that his work ethic and intensity could set new standards for the team. Whispered reports claim that Griffin's approach to film study and technique drills has already inspired teammates to elevate their performance, treating him as both a mentor and a motivator. Analysts have speculated that his integration could trigger a domino effect, elevating every player in proximity to his level of anticipation, speed, and tactical awareness. Social media chatter paints Griffin as a nearly mythical figure, someone whose combination of agility and cerebral football intelligence could redefine what fans expect from a defensive standout. Rumors also suggest that rival teams are quietly monitoring Miami's practices, attempting to understand how Griffin's presence alters the rhythm and spacing of the defense, from line stunts to coverage rotations. There's speculation that this level of disruption could force quarterbacks to make rush decisions more frequently, indirectly boosting the effectiveness of the Dolphins' secondary and linebacker core. Insiders hint that locker room dynamics are shifting in anticipation of Griffin's arrival, with veterans preparing to integrate his unique skill set into a cohesive strategy designed to overwhelm offenses. Analysts have been discussing the possibility that Griffin could act as a catalyst, transforming Miami's defense into a more aggressive, unpredictable unit that thrives on chaos and disruption. Rumors even extend to fantasy football circles, with Griffin's projected influence on sacks, pressures, and tackles for loss generating buzz among enthusiasts eager to capitalize on his presence. Amid all this speculation, one thing is clear. Griffin's rumored arrival has injected Miami with a palpable sense of anticipation, signaling that the Dolphins may be on the verge of something truly extraordinary in the defensive realm. Whispers suggest that Griffin's speed has already become a psychological weapon, with quarterbacks reportedly adjusting their footwork and release timing to account for his rumored explosiveness. Analysts are speculating that his presence could compress pockets and alter the timing of entire offensive schemes, making even veteran quarterbacks think twice before executing standard plays. Rumors indicate that Griffin's influence may extend beyond pure athleticism, inspiring coaches to rethink formations and blitz patterns to maximize his impact, effectively changing the way Miami's defense operates on every down. Social media chatter hints at fans envisioning highlight reels filled with split-second tackles and breakaway sacks, creating a sense of inevitability around Griffin's presence on the field. Insiders suggest that locker room culture may also evolve, with younger players emulating his focus and commitment, fostering a team-wide ethos centered around speed, anticipation, and relentless pursuit. Analysts are reportedly debating whether Griffin's rumored dominance could set new benchmarks for defensive efficiency, potentially redefining the standard for elite pass-rushing performance in the NFL. There's speculation that rival teams might go so far as to alter their offensive lines and protection schemes entirely, a testament to the intimidating aura Griffin is rumored to bring. Whispered conversations hint at the possibility that Miami's defensive success may hinge on Griffin's integration, emphasizing the critical role of chemistry between him and his teammates. Across forums and news outlets, Griffin's name has become synonymous with excitement, unpredictability, and the tantalizing promise of a defense that could dominate at unprecedented levels. Rumors continue to emphasize Griffin's rumored ability to read plays before they develop, a skill insiders claim sets him apart from any defender currently in the league. Analysts speculate that his instinctive anticipation could allow Miami's defense to anticipate quarterback decisions, disrupt passing lanes, and generate turnovers with alarming frequency. Social media chatter suggests that fans are already imagining scenarios where Griffin's acceleration and spatial awareness create game-changing moments, from chasing down elusive running backs to swarming quarterbacks in the pocket. Reports hint that veteran players are adjusting their own techniques, aligning with Griffin to create optimal angles and maximize the effectiveness of stunts and blitzes. Insiders claim that the Dolphins coaching staff is developing intricate schemes specifically designed to leverage Griffin's unique combination of speed, intelligence, and strength, aiming to turn him into a generational defensive force. Speculation abounds that his presence might also impact special teams, with coaches exploring opportunities for Griffin to apply his explosive abilities beyond conventional defensive snaps. Analysts are debating the broader implications for the league, suggesting that Griffin's integration could inspire rival teams to prioritize speed and versatility in defensive acquisitions. Whispered reports even indicate that Griffin's arrival may shift Miami's identity from a competent defense to a feared unit capable of dictating game tempo and momentum. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike are abuzz with the notion that Griffin represents not just a player acquisition, but a paradigm shift, a ripple that could redefine expectations and force opponents to adjust in ways they never anticipated. The murmurs surrounding Griffin also include speculation about his potential leadership role within the Dolphins, with sources suggesting that his intensity and work ethic could set a new tone for the locker room. Analysts are reportedly drawing comparisons to past defensive leaders who elevated teams through a combination of skill, intellect, and charisma, projecting that Griffin might achieve similar influence. Rumors indicate that younger teammates are already looking to him for guidance, treating his habits, training routines, and approach to the game as a blueprint for personal improvement. Social media chatter paints a picture of Griffin as a transformative figure, someone capable of reshaping the Dolphins' defensive culture while simultaneously inspiring a renewed sense of pride and urgency among fans. Insider reports suggest that coaches are tweaking defensive alignments to maximize Griffin's disruptive abilities, with detailed simulations designed to anticipate every conceivable offensive response. Analysts are speculating that his rumored versatility could allow him to line up in multiple positions, creating matchup nightmares for opposing teams and enhancing the unit's unpredictability. Whispered conversations hint at the possibility that Griffin's presence could trigger a cascade effect, improving communication, cohesion, and execution across the defensive roster. Fans, meanwhile, are already theorizing about highlight reels, envisioning Griffin wreaking havoc on every snap, a force whose influence extends beyond raw statistics to the very rhythm and tempo of the game. As speculation intensifies, the overarching narrative becomes clear. Griffin is not merely a player acquisition, but a potential linchpin for a Dolphins defense poised to make waves across the league. Rumors about Griffin's speed and agility have sparked discussions among analysts suggesting that he could redefine the metrics used to evaluate defensive performance. Whispered reports claim that quarterbacks are already accounting for Griffin's explosive first step, altering snap counts and timing to avoid immediate pressure. Social media chatter emphasizes his rumored capacity to change the outcome of games in a matter of seconds, creating anticipation that rivals playoff excitement. Insider sources hint that coaches are experimenting with new defensive packages, leveraging Griffin's mobility to create confusion, force turnovers, and collapse offensive schemes with unprecedented efficiency. Analysts speculate that his presence could enhance the performance of complementary defenders, as offenses struggle to adapt to his unpredictable angles and relentless pursuit. Rumors suggest that Griffin's work ethic and preparation are as impressive as his athleticism, inspiring teammates to elevate their own commitment levels and sharpening overall team cohesion. Whispered discussions indicate that rival teams may consider completely altering offensive lines or changing game scripts to mitigate his impact, a testament to the disruptive potential attributed to Griffin. Social media forums buzz with comparisons to legendary defenders, debating whether Griffin could become an all-time great if his rumored abilities translate seamlessly to Miami's defensive system. Even casual fans are reportedly swept up in the narrative, captivated by the prospect of witnessing a player capable of rewriting expectations and forcing a league-wide reevaluation of defensive strategy. Insiders continue to speculate that Griffin's rumored impact goes beyond physical performance, extending to the very psychology of opposing offenses. Analysts suggest that quarterbacks may hesitate or second-guess pre-snap reads, creating subtle advantages that ripple through every play. Whispered reports indicate that Griffin's teammates are adjusting strategies in anticipation, coordinating stunts, blitzes, and coverage rotations to exploit his rumored explosiveness and spatial awareness. Social media chatter highlights anticipation for highlight reel plays, imagining Griffin chasing down elusive ball carriers, intercepting passes, and collapsing pockets in ways that force offenses into chaos. Rumors also suggest that coaching staff is carefully balancing his workload to preserve longevity while maximizing disruptive potential, hinting at a meticulous integration process designed to leverage every facet of his game. Analysts speculate that rival teams might even preemptively adjust draft and free agent strategies to counter the perceived threat, emphasizing speed and versatility to match Griffin's rumored capabilities. Insider whispers suggest that the Dolphins' defensive identity could transform entirely, with Griffin serving as both the focal point and catalyst for innovative schemes. Fans are reportedly theorizing endlessly about matchups, envisioning scenarios in which Griffin dictates the flow of games and changes expectations for elite defensive performance. The speculation continues to grow, creating an atmosphere thick with excitement, anticipation, and a hint of intimidation surrounding Griffin's potential influence on Miami's defense. Rumors indicate that Griffin's arrival could spark a renaissance in Miami's defensive approach, with analysts predicting schemes tailored to exploit his rare combination of speed, intelligence, and instinct. Insider chatter suggests that his integration might inspire a new era of defensive dominance, forcing rival teams to adjust both strategy and mentality when facing the Dolphins. Social media is reportedly ablaze with fan theories, simulations, and imagined highlight reels, all emphasizing Griffin's rumored ability to disrupt offensive flow and create game-changing moments. Whispered reports claim that veteran players are already learning to anticipate Griffin's movements, fine-tuning positioning and timing to amplify his impact on every snap. Analysts speculate that his rumored versatility allows for creative alignment shifts, disguised blitzes, and unexpected stunts, elevating the unpredictability and overall efficiency of the defense. Rumors also hint at potential trickle-down effects, inspiring rookies and younger players to adopt a heightened level of focus and intensity, effectively raising the standard for the entire unit. Fans have reportedly begun discussing Griffin in terms usually reserved for legends, debating whether his potential dominance could mark the start of a dynasty for Miami's defense. Insider chatter suggests that every aspect of preparation, from film study to conditioning, is being adjusted to optimize Griffin's explosive traits and maximize sustainability. With anticipation building across all fronts, the overarching narrative is clear. Griffin's rumored arrival is generating excitement, speculation, and a palpable sense that Miami's defense is on the cusp of transformation. Rumors continue to suggest that Griffin's impact could extend beyond the field, influencing Miami's defensive philosophy, fan culture, and even league-wide defensive trends. Analysts speculate that his rumored speed and anticipation may compel opposing coaches to rethink offensive fundamentals, altering protection schemes and passing strategies league-wide. Whispered reports indicate that locker room dynamics are shifting in anticipation, with veteran defenders taking cues from Griffin's work ethic, intensity, and commitment to excellence. Social media buzz portrays Griffin as a near-mythical figure, someone whose presence could elevate every teammate and intimidate every opponent. Insider chatter hints that coaching staff is experimenting with unorthodox alignments, leveraging Griffin's versatility to create confusion, force turnovers, and exploit matchups with surgical precision. Analysts suggest that rival teams may respond by drafting or acquiring defensive players with similar traits, potentially sparking a league-wide evolution in defensive schematics and talent evaluation. Rumors also emphasize Griffin's role as a potential mentor, shaping the next generation of Dolphins defenders while setting a standard for preparation, anticipation, and execution. Fans are reportedly envisioning highlight reels filled with game-changing plays, imagining scenarios where Griffin's acceleration, agility, and instincts turn the tide of pivotal games. The overarching speculation reinforces a single idea. Griffin's arrival is more than a roster addition. It is a harbinger of transformation, a spark that could redefine Miami's defense and send shockwaves throughout the NFL landscape. With every whispered report, every analyst projection, and every fan theory, the narrative solidifies. Griffin might just be the game-changer everyone has been waiting for, the catalyst capable of turning the Dolphins' defensive ambitions into reality. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.